Yeah.
And we are here, and we are live. Powers for breakfast with Captain Rambo.
Yeah.
Woo!
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yo, gentlemen, we salute you. We're honored to have you on the show today. You feel me, dog? Like, we heard lots of great works about you during our time. You get me? I hope you come to enlighten us today and edutain us.
Thank you.
That's what we're looking for today. You get me?
Edutain, yeah.
Edutain us,
that.
bro. You get me? Because this is what we're about. You get me? We're about educating the people, but bringing some enjoyment to it as well.
For real.
Giving them the powers.
100.
So, Capo, talk to us, my bro. Where are you from? Where did you grow up?
Alright, first of all, well, my name is Jason. I grew up in I was born in St Thomas's Hospital, Lambeth. I grew up in Tooting most of my life. You know, like I lived there with my family, my brothers. You know, my brother, and I had the pleasure of having 2 Dobermans at the time, growing up in my childhood. But just further on, you know, like my mother and father were very deeply involved in sound systems, you know, and
everyone from that generation seems to be heavily involved in sound systems.
Yeah, that was the thing back then, right?
Everyone, so everyone is dancing and playing music.
Come on,
that was our culture, and that was a community thing.
Sick.
Like in my community alone, we could have had about at least 6 sounds within Tooting alone. You know,
wow.
Different sound systems, and you know, it was the culture for us throughout Southwest, or even London in generally. Most communities had sound systems and had a lot of artists who you would consider as MCs or DJs, you know, people who grab the mic and, as you know, you call it rap and drill today. And from those generations, that's where it all stems from, you know, from the great record labels of Studio One, Channel One, you know, Tubby's, Coxon Studio. Those late record labels gave many young youths a chance to even express their talents and, you know, find their way through life without the crime and everything. So Sound System was the very pillar of our community.
Was
Facts.
you involved in the music itself? Was you an artist or
man? My father, boy, you know, me and my father had a great relationship growing up as a young child. You know, he wrote me in, like, play cassettes like from Sound Systems like Kilimanjaro, from the days of man like Yellow Man, and certain artists you might not be familiar with, but these were the iconic dancehall artists where most community youths, I use the term ghetto, because sometimes it could be thrown in out as we get involved in the conversations of this great interview. Man will break down more knowledge and stuff, but that was the vibe, you know. My father will be playing Kilimanjaro, sounds like Stereograph, you know, with U-Roy, you know, and Arden man there, rest in peace U-Roy, because he was the foundation of MC, and they even say in America that he was the father of rap, you understand, and you have to big up the legends and the real veterans and the man them who paved the way for people like us today, you understand, so to move forward. Big up.
Yeah.
Where's your origins?
My origin, trust me, man. You know, I'll start with that. Alright, you know, I put it out there before. My mother's mixed race, you know, half Irish, half Trinidad. So she was born in the 60s, and it wasn't really hard for white and black to even mix. But there was a lot of mixed race. People say half caste, but I like to use the term mixed race because saying half a caste of what? You know what a caste is?
It's an animal, right?
Right, we're not caste people, see, we're not caste Jews to swines either. You understand? You have to teach, these are the proverbs, what was going in the Bibles, what our grandparents and our parents and we self-cherish, you understand? Throughout the Holy Scriptures, you got a lot of proverbs and sayings and stuff.
Yep.
So what was it like growing up in Tooting?
Tooting was like a mixed community, you understand? It was like we had the Irish, yeah? We had when we say white people, they were, back them time, they're British, English white man, you understand? Man who now ramped to put NF and PMP on the walls, make you see that from your growing up. They make you understand that, but you understand. It was a Caribbean culture. I ain't gonna just throw Jamaican in there because we have Trinidadians, we have Barbadians and St. Kitts, St. Vincents who did come through in the Windrush generation. So Tooting was like it was mix of English, Irish and the Caribbeans who at that time of me growing up. Now you have Polish, you have all sorts of Eastern Europeans living in there now.
I like the Irish people. I think black people and Irish get along very well. Like,
I admit.
Yeah. Even the accent with certain words that they say, you know what I mean? Like, man,
tree man,
tree, you know them words?
So
man.
Black people get on with Irish people very well.
Of course we do.
Do you know what?
Dope.
Do you know what? They do say that, you know, like during the period of our so-called Windrush period, the Irish were kind of put in with the Caribbean and kind of downfalls, like downtrodden, as saying no blacks, no Irish, and no dogs. You understand? In most of the pubs and most of the places back then,
because they were treated like slaves as well, weren't it? They were like...
But you know what, let's be real, like when we talk about our slavery, and Irish slavery, certain times we have to establish the facts, because don't forget the educational system is not really in the favour of black people, or where we say African people. You understand? When they were saying Irish were slaves, a lot of white people from different parts of Europe was under Slavis, they call it Slavis, slave. That was the thing, you understand? We black people or African people, when we say we were slaves, we were more than just slaves. We were, you know, I would say we the only people in the world who doesn't really know who we really are. We taking on names, we name our children after term over events, places and stuff. And the problem is this: we don't know our culture, and we don't know our spirituality, let alone anything else. Because everything they have taught us is according to them. They tell you was an African slave and you chose to accept it without researching and studying about where you and who are you about and stuff like that. And these are the things where we come to buck now, because most of you youngers, you start to study these stuff and will come with some strong arguments now, because go through.
You saying that though, I feel like maybe the elders need to build a school for the kids and teach them it, because you can't expect the enemy to be teaching us our
wicked. And you know what? This is the things, according to mainstream and according to social platforms, you understand about the so-called grid they have, where certain things are censored, certain activities and certain productive things, what goes on in the community doesn't get expressed on social media, let alone mainstream. There is I heard you would say to your other guests about, do they have a Saturday school or Black Saturday school?
Yes.
They do. In Torres Hill, they have a Bantu school what's been going on. Yeah, man, from the 90s. It's called the Bantu School. It's a Saturday school in Torres Hill Community Centre, and that's been going on for like 20-30 years, to be precise, because a lot of people who were growing up in the 90s, their parents wanted them to take in a Saturday school. North London as well, Tottenham, West London style. Like, you got communities, four corners of London, what dealt with these things from I grew up from even when I was born until now, but it doesn't come on your survey. You know, when you put I'm your friend and everything, and when you put me down, everybody it goes on the little grid, it doesn't come up on there. Unless if somebody like myself pull it on there, but it depends who controls that. But continue.
Yeah, you said that, see, when you was younger, you used to see people spray painting NF and stuff on the walls, but how bad was the racism back then?
Whoa. Read a jingle for that one then.
Yo, big up for that. Yeah, let's be real, yeah, right? The people who was living at those times, like let's say, for instance, I ain't go on like I remember the 60s, like I was born in the 60s, fam. Yeah, I was born in the towards the late era of the 70s, but I remember the 80s back, like say like them time there, I used to see a lot of skinheads. I used to see a lot of people having big Dr. Martin boots, steel toe caps with tattoos of British Bulldog and all of that. And but didn't tell you, go back home to your country. Throw bananas. I hear what? When I was a youth watching football, like you look like Liverpool and Manchester United, certain man used to touch the ball, pure banana skin. You understand? You growing up, you make your white friend cry, or you have a like me. I have mixed relatives. You know, you make them cry sometimes. They will remember. They will make you remember yourself as a black person. They will tell you. Yeah, stuff like nigga. What was it? Wog, jam jar kid. You understand?
Wow, that's
crazy. So when you're a youth now and you having your jam or your marmalade and you're going to school, but you see that little gully wog dessa, yeah, or that jam jar that's kid. Crazy. Then you have your little white friend with her black goddy wog.
Oh,
and you have her parents. You have your own. They ain't racist. Gollywogs ain't racist. There's a lot of things what we went through as, you know what I mean? A lot of African people used to get worse. Yeah. You know what I mean? You, like, tell you the truth, even the complexion of your skin, bro, could you know, suppress you, bruv. Anyway, we are set.
Definitely, I just want to chime in there because now it's more subtle, isn't it? It's more subliminal. It's like undertones, whereas
what it is, when they say let me tell you something, right? To tell you all of their foolishness, yeah, right? No, I don't need to call you a black nigga or this or that. They can make you know. Yeah, without those words. Yeah, they can make you know that.
Facts.
That what. You don't belong here.
Yeah.
You understand?
But Cap,
yeah.
On your journey, yeah.
Wicked, go on.
Why do you think they are like that? What makes the hate so strong against us?
That's a good question.
It's something what was taught to them through the generation, through this institutions. You understand? Yeah.
Just institutionalized from schools.
When I say institutions, you know, yeah, you young people understand like. Institution is a bit more expanded. It covers your whole social, your living. You understand that? When I'm saying your institution is what keeps you here, bro. You understand? And that is what makes you know where, fam, you could be on the council list to get housing property. You could be on the list of jobs or whatever the case may be because of the social or the institutionalized system. It can hinder you as a black or brown person. 100%. You understand? So 100%. Continue.
So tell us about your mission.
Mission? What do you think said this is? Yo, listen, the mission I've got is the same mission all you great young enthusiastic people have. You understand? For live better, for do better, and accomplish my desires. You understand? 100. Because listen to this, yeah. I'm not gonna come here and come talk to you like I'm some Rambo from from Hollywood. You understand? And everything there. Because what it is, I thought I'd come up here and not give you the true powers. You understand? And the powers of really giving you a real purpose in life. See, one thing about us as a human people, as humans, we want to grow and we want to accomplish, we want to live. Because no matter how you really talk, I will die for this and I will die for that, I'll duck your rotted head underwater for 2 minutes and we see how you fight to get your head out of that water. See? Right. You understand? And that's the truth of you. And don't let people fool you. You understand? And one thing about us, we have a lot of so-called leaders who's just leading us to our slaughter blood, because some of you that are sheeps ready to get slaughter, because it's not, they don't teach you about the wolves. Or if you talking about this concrete jungle, yes sir, you have hyenas, you have leopards, you have cheetahs, you have buffaloes, you have rhinos, you have elephants, you have lions, and some of them are prey and some of them are predators, bro. And this is how it's like with the animal instincts within human beings today, bro. Sometimes when I'm talking to you, I see everybody here black, but I want to shed that today. I overstand on certain things where we're just talking based on our intelligence and stuff like that. So my mission is the same as your mission. Yeah? Thank you.
Tell us about the Panthers, Rambo.
Wicked.
Tell us about that. How did you even...
I see that the Panthers now, as a young black boy living in a Western society, we had a lot of movements back in our communities and stuff, yeah? And the Black Panthers were not only within our community, it was really also an iconic movie within the black community, yeah? Because when you saw the Black Panthers, what was made in
66.
No, listen to this, yeah? In the 60s, 70s, there were a lot of bulletins through news and through stuff like that. But towards the 80s and 90s, they made the movie called the Black Panthers.
Okay.
Yeah, so in the 90s generation saw a movie called the Black Panthers. But also seeing the news bulletins, because some of our parents were activists those times, because they were fighting racism, injustice. Police brutality has been going on from that generation, and it's a generation thing. So the Black Panthers were I would say it was a kind of Western worldly thing, because I don't think youths in Africa even acknowledges the Black Panthers like as we do in this side of the Western world. Do you understand?
Yes.
Thank you.
Like we're kind of lucky in a sense, because we have the tools to give us the insight about who we are more than people in Africa, I would say.
Yeah.
I feel like it's sad to say this, but I feel like we know more about black history and culture than certain people in Africa due to colonization.
Yeah, let's put it this way, yeah? I'm not going to separate my brothers from because of no waters or borders, yeah? I'm not going to separate my African brothers. What I will say to you is this, yeah? Africa has become, as you say, colonized, and Africa, because I would say certain things what we are affected by, they're not affected by it. They have more.
Can you give us an example, please?
I would say tribal war, because a lot of Africans are I hate that word Africa, man. But let's be real with it.
Like that
but let's be real with it. Like yeah, I would say they have more tribal differences.
Yeah.
And when they say over here, they're having civil war, mass genocides and all of this stuff, they have their political stuff within their tribes, but let's not talk for them because they can't talk for us. Let's just say that their culture is because what they know is according to their world they're in.
Yeah, to a degree. I can talk about it though. I'm African and I live.
Don't tell me now.
Like, I feel like they're definitely deeply colonized. Like, deep. Like, sleeping in a coma. Like, I know this. So, when you say let's not talk about it.
No, the reason why I said let's not talk about it. See, sometimes you have to talk what you know, and sometimes a lot of us just talk and don't really know what we're talking about. You understand? And I just wanted to put it that way. That me personally, then don't really know that, because I haven't gone out there to speak to them like that, but I could judge of how my people is over here and the places I have been in the world where I have seen black people, and I could judge them through that. But I do understand that the colonized or the brainwash of the system and everything, of the colonized system and everything, and the government and everything has got our people's mind in a way that they don't know their history, they don't know their culture, they don't even know their languages nowadays. But continue, bro.
I hear that. I wanted to speak a bit about the police brutality when you were younger. What was that like?
See, the police brutality, it's always been going on. Like, you call it stop and search today. Police will do that too, but police will put hands on you back then because they didn't have cameras on their chest, they didn't have CCTV cameras, and most of the police, to be real with you, are really in line with the fascism. Because another thing now, what you got to realise, that the police itself is an establishment, it's a fraternity, the police. And when we had people like Enoch Howe, who was pushing fascism and far rights.
Enoch Howe, during the Windrush times. Yeah,
listen to this. Yeah, we had because we had a Tory MP. You understand? But now you call it conservative.
Okay.
Yeah, but we had a Tory MP, and he basically made a river of blood speech, saying that in the generations to come, black people and those foreigners would overtake your country, and those times
nasty.
Black people, so they say, wasn't even here. That was a speech apparently before the Windrush set sail. So when your grandparents, or in certain cases your great grandparents, came over, that speech made the far rights, or I should say the far right agenda of the people, have that agenda that no blacks, no dogs, no Irish, and the youths who grew out of that, it was really called, don't forget, you heard about the Teddy Boys and the Skinheads. Now, during the 60s and the 70s, you had the Skinheads and the Teddy Boys. You understand? And because some of the far rights are, or National Front does follow the fascism, or the far right policy of the governments, of the British or the English government, basically. And when you're talking about police brutality, these people not only joined the police force, they also joined the army. So when they were getting stationed in Africa, throughout Europe, because you hear about the Cold Wars and all of that, they had their far right mentality with them, and they did a lot of stuff.
Still here today, still
here today.
Was it IPCC, the police
protective the commission services, where they're it's all part of it. Remember this, when you complain to the police, it's the part of the police where you consider as good, who is whistleblowing the bad police.
It's ex-police officers, isn't it?
Yeah. But what it is, they're all working for the same system. You understand? They're all brethren because they're part of that same brotherhood.
Yes.
Yeah. So continue, man. Police brutality, my brother, it's been going on since we've been knocked on our head, put on ships, then stationed in our captives land, where we call the Caribbean, because most Jamaicans do understand that is a captive land, and most Caribbeans understand that their land are captive lands because you were bought there and you can't run back because they got great white sharks and all sorts of stuff. You ain't swimming out of them places.
You're right, because you know what I heard about Barbados. What they did, they put a lot of snakes around the island to stop slaves from escaping.
Wow.
Until they found out the snakes are coming into the island and biting the white slave masters. So you know what they did next? They brought in mongooses to kill the snakes. So it just shows you how
they did a lot of stuff.
The evil, the levels of evil is just mad.
That's what I'm saying. Like when you're talking about your 400 years of slavery and all of that, you might as well say you was in a prison camp. That's why I like to say you wasn't no slave, you were a prisoner of war, because they kidnapped you. You're not free, no matter how you try to put it. They have you as captives. Alright, continue.
I want to ask again. So we can see, like in America, what the Panthers do. We can see they were feeding their community. They're very, very big on protecting. Obviously, they can bear arms out there. Tell me, how does that translate over here?
I'll tell you what. This is what I want to make clear to everyone. The Black Panther Party over here can't bear firearms. You're not even meant to have a knife now. You can't really protect yourself. So I say, if you really want to go out there and protect your community, you have to go against this law. And going against this law will cost you your freedom. But what freedom? If you're really prepared to defend yourself and your family and your community, and defend what is, when I say what is yours, I'm not talking about the materialistic crap what is put onto us. I'm not saying, buy a gun or have a knife to protect your car. I'm not saying all of that stuff, but I say that the Black Panther Party, the laws over here, is very difficult if you try to be a law-abiding citizen. But to be a revolutionary or freedom fighter or liberation fighter, you would have to go against the very law what you say is what you want the revolution for. So I will say to people, I will say this personally, it's going to get a time where you will go arm yourself, because the way this country has run, they don't really tell you and leak it out. There are many different extremist groups. You young people better know what you are, better know what you're really facing out here. Like England alone, I'm not talking no America or other parts of Europe. England alone has the most members or extremist formation or radicalized formation what's under a terrorism act group. They have it. And they will tell you in this long list of group there are many racist groups who are armed. They got firearms, they got even links where I will say to the British or the Ministry of Defence, because the weaponry they have in this country, because remember this, London, they don't really deal with terrorism violence, but if you go up more in the Midlands, going up to like Liverpool and all of that, and you start dealing with the shipping ports between Liverpool and Ireland and everything, and Scotland, they have a lot of sectarianism up there. And some of us, even elders in this in the black community and the brown community, obviously, or in our community in generally, they are oblivious to really understand what this country really has behind the smoke screen. Because for one, when I'm talking about the Black Panthers, I have to show you lot that the Black Panthers were like young people, even young people than yourself, who really wanted to do a service or give a service to the people and protect their people. They started off as a group where, quote, is considered as a gang, a group of people what is more than two. If you have more than three, it's considered as a gang. So say us 4 people in this room today are very. We walked on the street, we'd be considered as a gang. Yeah. Stop. Now, if we decided to put all 4 minds together and come with a solution to the problems within our community, we will become. And if you want to try and use a political error to it, we will become a party. Now when we defend in the community and we say what's the resources, according to your law, you or to the American law and constitution or the amendments, they have the right to bear firearms. So they say we go get our guns from the shops and get their gun license. So I'm trying to explain to you that us as a people, we in this dilemma now, like our community is not really running too great and stuff. And when we're talking about the Black Panther Party and everything else, I'm just saying there were like a group of guys like us who was working within the laws of that part of time.
But you see, as us as black people, I feel like there's a million ways to skin a cat. So when you're saying,
of course, exactly, there's many ways.
So when we're talking about we can't arm ourselves in this country,
okay. So
can I say something though?
Yeah.
Did you know you can strip a microwave and take that thing out of the microwave and point it at someone and
it's a weapon.
So guys really got to start thinking. It's not about having a gun every minute. You can really use your mind and really get things done. You know.
I hear where you're coming from. But here what we are saying, your mind is your brain.
It's true. Anything can be a weapon. Anything can be a weapon when
everything. David had a slingshot, you know. That's a model. That's a
certain countries people stone you, bro.
Exactly.
So this is it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Bust out your head and knock you dead. You understand? I get where you're coming from. But as I was saying to you, as you say, your body is the greatest weapon, or your mind.
The mind.
So say nothing. Your mind build nuclear weapons to so it's your mind.
The mind.
So tell us, what is the vision? What is the vision for here, the formation that's here, the Black Panthers? And are you affiliated? Are you working with any other organisations here?
I'll tell you what it is with that now. With the laws over here, and I believe it's with our people over here, some of them don't really want to be called or quote have the term Panthers. They like the legacy, they like the works and everything. And when I say to you that you could create a formation, you can create a formation. You get what I'm coming from?
Yes. Go on.
You're making create a formation and have a collective people to do it. It can happen. But the reason why you don't really see it like that, because it's not really hard I found it hard to really galvanize the people or galvanize the people in that formation. Do you understand? But everybody's got that revolutionary mentality. Everybody's got that liberation and freedom fighting way of thoughts. Do you understand where I'm coming from? It's like what I'm trying to say to you. You don't have to call yourself Black Panthers to do the same work I'm doing.
Definitely not.
So sometimes I like to push out like this. Me personally, the reason why I became a Black Panther, because it was something within my own personal childhood. Something where when I talked to my parents or my grandparents about the British Black Panthers or the Black Panthers or generally, they got a lot to say about it. So it was affected with them. But when I'm saying to you that there is a lot of so-called Panthers, I believe, throughout England. If we will come together and wore the berry and wore the uniform, we can do it.
It looks amazing, by the way.
No, wicked.
It looks so powerful.
I'm not saying it did happen before, but to grab that thing, I just believe that sometimes it's not really good to force people. The Black Panthers ain't a damn religion, you understand? It's not something you must be to do, because the things if you look at the 10-step programs, like if you look now at the 10-step program, it affects those people in the nation aspect. You want freedom. You want the right to determine education. You want the right to have housing where it's fit for you and your family. You don't want to be with your wife and children with cockroaches and rats infecting houses with holes through the roof and water, rain leaking through your roof. You don't want that. These are the things that the whole nation asks for. We want free education. We want our youths to go into school. See? We want and another thing they used to ask for, like, we want free house, we want the same care as you got. Like, if white people could be on the NHS and Asian people could go on NHS and have certain treatments, why can't I have it as a black citizen living in your country, or a black, or America, or whatever? These are the these were the rights the people wanted. You understand? And these people, when we vote, sometimes the votes don't count like that. And sometimes the ministers you want, or somebody who you want to lead you, doesn't get that power. So what happens? So the Black Panthers were coming up with community and nationalism guidelines, bro. Like, they were dealing with both sides of the things. They were like doing political arguments from the political spectrum, because when you're talking about Bobby Seals and Huey P. Newton, they were not stupid people. Most of the Black Panthers in America, like even Fred Hampton, these people had a very, they knew what they want, regardless if it was a political agenda or a socialist agenda. It felt right to the people who never had a voice. It felt right to the people who did not know what way to go, basically. You understand? These people, these try to create something. I understand some of the
conditions gave birth to the movement, right? That's what happened, didn't it?
Yeah, bro. Like, the struggles. Like, yo, reality was this, yeah? Your mother or your grandparents at those times, even these times, or even yourselves, could end up working twice, having 2 jobs,
or 3 or 4,
3-4 jobs sometimes, right?
Yeah.
That's
4 hours here, 4 hours there in the morning. That's between 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. You've done two different jobs already, or 10 o'clock. Then you got afternoon. Then you got evening, and these are the conditions what we as people went through.
How's that sustainable? That's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable. So what it was, remember, some of us as employers, we started to get into positions of management positions and stuff, and started to use our initiative and start to reach out to people and say, I got work in my workplace. So you're giving that man or that woman an opportunity to work at the workplace, or you take that experience of that workplace and set up a company and a business of your own, what becomes a black business, or that what could help out your community.
Captain, enlighten me, because I've heard this term BRLP.
Yes.
What is it? What does it stand for? What's the plans?
BRLP, basically the Black Riders Liberation Party. Basically, the Black Riders really come out of Oakland, California. Meaning, where you call it East Coast, of your hip hop world, where Tupac and where you call it Suge Knight and the man there,
Tupac's originally from Oakland, didn't he?
Right, so here the Black Riders itself was a group of young men and women who were actually locked down in a youth correction facility. Basically, they were gang members of the Blood and Crips, and now I will say this. I want to use this term lightly, because Blood and Crips today is not really as it is
back in the 70s.
Not when it started, right?
Started off and into the 90s. Well, anyway, these young men were in the generation of genocide, suicidal era. Like, remember this: I'm a blood, you're a crip. They'll drive by and everything. But anyway, these young brothers were in jail, and they were reading books like George Jackson, Blood in My Eye, and a lot of other, we called it revolutionary books. You understand why they were doing their prison time and everything. These guys kind of got together under the guidance of the Black Panthers anyway, because the Black Panthers actually come from that part of LA. Like when you're talking about Eleanor Brown, you had rest in peace the big man Herbert, who actually used to go out into the communities and actually talk to the young brothers and sisters of that generation. So anyway, the Black Riders kind of got together and not like say, you know what, let's ride for our people basically. You understand? So General Taco, who's known as Wolverine Shakur,
General Taco,
Wolverine Shakur, and many of the other brothers kind of got together, went out on the street, started to patrol like what you see a lot of community groups do today. They went out and patrolled. They actually took on the terms New Generation Black Panthers, and they decided to ride out. They got their aluminium, a certificate from Catherine Cleveland herself, who was the wife and the girlfriend of Elridge Cleveland.
Okay.
Now, some of the old school Black Panthers just before, where we say Jaga Geronimo de Pratt, who was a Second World War, Vietnam War veteran, meaning that some of the Black Panthers was actually stationed to go out to Vietnam. See? And it's like any youth who's 18, you in this gangbang, you know, you have the opportunity to go into the US Army, went out there. This was at the time of Malcolm X's death, because Malcolm, at the death of Malcolm X in 1965, I believe, the 21st of February,
Wow, you remember the
right
day.
now, man, right. 1965 also angered the black communities, bro, or the brown communities. Listen, fam, right? Local.
Yes.
When I say brown communities, right, let's be real, most of these Black Panthers were mixed race anyway, and stuff like that. So they had a voice.
Yeah.
You understand? And the reason why I'm looking at you and everything is just because I'll try to get your attention and say, people like yourself, like myself and yourself,
we're all one, innit? We're all one.
Are one, and when we say we are one, we do have the same problems and the same common goals. You understand? So the Black Panthers were very young, bro. Like they will say that Bobby Hunting was actually 16 when he joined.
So it was Fred Hampton, innit? He was a young boy as well.
Yeah, I just saw the film the other day. I've just literally seen it.
He was powerful. Young,
remember
powerful.
this? It was like people like Elvis Cleveland and brother Kumitori or Carl Stolt-Michaels. Okay. Now, they were the elders, like myself. Like, and I'll join a younger group. I'll be kind of the elders. And they were like spokesmen, and you know they did very good. But it was the young group of brothers and sisters, basically. So, as I say, the Black Riders is really like the new generation of the old generation. But things is we have to adapt with our environments and adapt with the changes in the times. So sometimes the law could be thrown out the window. It's depending on what factor you're going for, because the Black Riders Liberation sounds like the Black Riders Liberation Army. There was a faction before, because in New York now they had a formation of the Black Panthers. And you heard about the Black Panthers 23 or the 24. Basically, you heard about Murtala Shakur, Athena Shakur, Ashanti Shakur. Now, they were from New York. And they created a faction out of that, what's called the Black Liberation Army.
What's your faction called?
Oh, my faction is called the Black Riders Liberation Party, New Generation Black Panthers.
So I was thinking of Globe 9.
Globe 9.
Yeah.
Where the hell you get that from? But listen to this, yeah.
That's what you told me.
No. Me and you could be talking about the G9, yeah. Me and you was talking about that on the phone.
Yeah.
And G9, G Global. You make me laugh. Maybe the 9 elite countries. Yeah. No, but still, maybe we just got a bit of our questioning wrong. But saying that, and it's all in parallel, and I'm grateful.
Okay.
Yeah, say nothing.
Okay. So why didn't you create a formation?
Why didn't I?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I have in aspects.
Okay.
Because what I realise, hear what? You're a soldier.
Okay.
And you call behind enemy lines, bro. And the worstest thing you could ever do in this day and time is go out, wearing all your black and berry, and going everywhere and everything behind enemy lines. You will know that the enemy ain't stupid. He would have his army or surveillance on you. They will nick you under Terrorism Act.
If you make yourself a target, right?
Yeah, no, listen, man. They have this thing wired up, yeah? So certain times, if you go, sometimes it's a time and a place for everything. You understand? There's a time and a place where you should have your uniform. Like, you don't see the British Army everyday soldiers in the army uniform. They go out to their families, to their normal jobs in civilian clothes and live a civilian life. And when they get called for duty,
that's when you see them all geared up, right?
That's how you should be, you know. Even as a warrior, you put your bandana on and you put your, or if not, you're coming from another place where you put your war face on and thing. You don't have that on 24 hours a day.
Well, you do see soldiers wearing their army clothes in England. You do see it.
You do, but remember, they're on duty.
Even when they're off duty sometimes still.
Standing off duty, some of them just wear as a remembrance to say, look, I'm a British soldier. Yeah. That's a human ego. Oh, guess what? I'm a Black Panther. Guess what I'm going to do with my berry? Like today, Captain Rambo from the Black Panthers interview, boom, me just coming on my Adidas and look like a civilian. Shut the fucking hell out of you. Right? Because you suspected that I'll go come in my berry, dark sunglasses sitting in here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't do that, bro.
How often do you get into the uniform?
Do you know what? When I do a community, when I'm doing any activism, I'll do it. Maybe if I'm going on the front line where I'll say a little protest or something, I'll most probably put on my berry and have my jacket or something, or have one of my badges.
Yeah, no, I hear that. Yeah, no, it looks good though. It looks uniform. It looks smart.
No, thank you very much.
Proper.
It's striking.
Yes.
Striking.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just that towers get me that thunder lightning and get me that bang. But yeah.
The captain himself, myself, 100 Eyes, Local Loot, Empress Nay, Captain Rambo. So, Captain, obviously, what we're trying to do, you know, it's a dangerous game, innit? It's a dangerous game. So you gotta watch out for agents and fake messiahs. Is it hard to trust people in the conscious community because of all these threats?
You know what? The conscious community now, to be real, is a joke.
Jesus! Smoking settings.
Don't hold back, Captain. Come on.
No,
tell us. What's the joke?
No, the joke is, it's coming like the conscious community to me before came from the people, like me, like ourselves. You understand? Then now every celebrity is now conscious. You understand? It's become a brand. I could sell a T-shirt. Let's get conscious.
That wokeism thing they got going on.
And when we talk about false messiahs and false leaders and everything, you know, it's like we have a lot of people who are that. You know, and some people, they're about to leak soon. The taps is about to open.
Yeah,
you understand, and that's how it is. And you know, we have fake leaders, and we have, as the question said before, bro. Yeah, you have to be. That's how the conscious community is becoming. It's becoming more fake. People act like they care, and really they just want to make a quick money.
But bro, to be fair, there's been agents from a long time ago.
Facts. Don't forget all governments of the country basically has a lot of what you call civil service. The civil service workers are like agents, so we have a lot of agents throughout the social system, and we have a lot of agents where we could call friends, crews, gang members, all of that. So
how do you identify agent? Cap?
See, when you say agent, now agent is kind of where people say little quote snitch, informer, spy.
That's what we're talking about.
In disguise, though, right?
In disguise.
There's
Remember, they don't have to wear uniform, as you put out before, as we said before, with soldiers. Yeah, these agents don't do that. They're actually within your system, amongst your movements, amongst your groups, deep and buried. They even control the strings and operate the batteries in certain of the community figures.
Yes. They leak knowledge to outside organisations.
Nothing but powers.
So have you spotted any fake agents in your time? And have you called them out?
Come on, give us the tea. Give us the tea.
Do you know what? Yeah, names too enough. So I don't even need to call out names. You just see them You will just see them and hear of it. You know how community is. There's a lot of ears. A lot of people talk and say he's an agent, he's this, he's that. You know, she's this, she's that.
But it's thrown around too loose as well, though. I think
some of it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some of
people getting called agents and
the worstest thing, sometimes we do have people who throw out things and pushes narratives. You understand? So, he's a snitch, he's an informer, and all of that. In some cases, that person was totally innocent. That person just wanted to assassinate his character, personally destroy that person. So what they do is chat crap about that person. You understand?
Trust me.
Get people like yourselves who don't really know me or that individual to do that, and that's what we have, and people need to fix up. You know what I mean?
100. There's a lot of that.
If a man's doing something good in life, because you got a certain personal vendetta, you don't need to assassinate that individual's character because his works is good, but because of your vendetta and stuff, that's what happens. A lot of people carry damn malice around, You understand?
And everyone's blessed in different ways.
The conscious community is not like it's just the same as the musical entertainment industry.
People gonna be people, bro.
Yeah.
Facts.
No, I hear that.
Facts. And also, everyone was born blessed, so everyone's got different skills. Don't watch someone else because they're good at something and you're not good at that.
Say that again.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Say that again.
Everyone's born blessed. Everyone has their own purpose.
That's
when you
right.
find out what your purpose is, you'll be more humble and the envy will leave your heart. I think that's very important. You got to find out your purpose. I think within the black community, we need to do that to each individual. That would make us grow.
I agree
100.
I agree with that. I agree.
Powers.
I'm loving it. It's so
Big
true. So true.
That's
There's space for all of us. There's room for every single one of us.
Do you know what it is as well?
Sorry, can I hear
No, I love that,
Go on.
because what you said there, that everyone is born blessed.
100%.
The problem is this, what we have. sometimes you can see yourself in other people, and sometimes you need to find out who you are.
Yeah.
The worstest thing out here, we got too much damn icons who was just selective and giving to you and say you should respect him, idolize him because of this. Then when you find out his personal life and all of that, it's totally different. It's depending of you are that quality of every individual. You just have to have faith and encouragement within yourself.
Yep.
You understand? The worstest thing what we do as people, we kind of not see our own greatness. We don't actually see our own good qualities and what we can see ourselves doing. We can make a good change only if we can see ourselves doing it. Sometimes we are taught to look out of us, and that's the wrong thing. That's wrong knowledge.
100%.
You know what I mean? You're looking for a heaven what's outside of yourself. You're looking for peace what's outside yourself. You're looking for everything but you outside yourself.
Do you know?
So continue.
Do you know what? That's why I'm called local, you know.
Oh, yeah, that's still.
I was looking for too much stuff externally, and then I realised it's inside me.
Powers.
Also, Cap, about that, I feel like there's so much issues in the black community still. We still suffer from a lot of trauma. For example, a lot of us, not me, but a lot of men grew up without fathers. So they took on a lot of feminine attributes in them. And this is why we're big.
When we say, like, when we're talking about that, though, I agree with you and I disagree with you. In our community, we do have lack of, where you would say, both parents in the household, or the child don't get to see his father, mother, or even don't get to see the parents they live by, their grandparents, or are really deep in social services. Yeah, let's not forget that everybody, when we say these people's life is totally different. Some people you can't even comprehend what they're really going through. I get where you're coming from.
Facts.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that in most cases our community is just has been going through a process for years and generations, and let's not make excuses and stuff. Some people could always find that help or find methods of healing their scars and wounds. And sometimes as a people, we don't want to heal ourselves. We don't want to look in the present and live in the future, you understand? We just want to live in the past. We don't want to live in the now. We want to talk about our parents when we was growing up. Yeah, man, I remember when I used to have corned beef and rice and my mum and dad this and that. Sometimes you lot are liars and you stop telling people damn stories. You know what I mean? Real truth is this: when you was a child, you didn't know a damn thing about sufferation. You know, and you just grow up and learn to talk them thing there. When you're a child, you could be the only thing what is important to you is your mother and your father. And sometimes when you don't have your mother or father with you, or you're taken away from your mother or your father, you can carry that scar, or it can really hurt you, can really destroy you.
It's trauma.
Yeah, you call it trauma. You know, all of these so-called psychologists, no disrespect, counsellors, words or methods, we can use all of it. The problem is this, that a lot of us did not really have a very good upbringing as what we see in the media.
Yes.
Sometimes as children, they taught us that it's these things, what we're talking about in our community creates mental health problems later on. Create heavily drug addiction, regardless if it's legal or prescribed legal drugs like prescribed drugs or whatever. You understand? There's a lot of people who go through that, and these are the causes to most of the problems, our upbringing, and your losses. How does it feel? You have a child, and your child passes away. Goes in the swimming pool, drowns. There's a lot of people who go through a lot of damages and stuff. You really don't really want to comprehend the real damage within your communities. You really don't want to really deal with the people who really got the traumas, because that energy alone, what they could just By the time they open their mouth, drain the whole soul out of you. It's not no disrespect, because that's why we put these people into institutions. The community starts giving up on them. They try to talk to them. Now, this guy or woman is so hurt or traumatized for something in her past. Remember, you got a relationship each time you live in it. You know how much people get destroyed by their own animals? You have a dog, you have a cat. It grew up 5 years, but in that 5 years, you grew up a good bond. That cat goes or your dog dies. It does create that. As human beings, we feed as just any other animal. We feel these things. So continue, bro. Don't want to chat about the wrong thing. But yeah,
on another level.
Let me get into white supremacy. What is it?
Wicked. White supremacy.
Yeah. Smoke.
In your words, Captain.
In my words, from my mouth, and from my mind, Jehovah's done. White supremacy is I believe, is a system.
Yes.
Is a constitution. Is laws. Is a way of life. And when we say white supremacy, we put in a term to a colour to it now. Jeez. So how about black supremacy and brown supremacy? We could fuck around with the colours and the words all we like. But the truth is this. Now we live in... The reason why we say it's white supremacy, because the effect of us seeing the agenda, this is white supremacy. White supremacy is a thing like you created an image, let's say Superman or He-Man, the masters of the universe, the man of steel. Let's say, it's a shark, alright, and let's call it the Great White Shark.
And we call the other one the black one. What do we call the black one?
Let's find Nemo. or you have a boxer, wicked, Rocky. See? Yeah. But not white boy turn boxers, but they don't want to tell you that. Yeah. Made Rocky feel a bit like Fonzie. Yeah, had that role level. See, all of these things where we say white supremacy. Remember, these are like the iconics. Now we go back far as Zeus, and we go back to Pleiades, and we go all of that. Now, white supremacy is an ideology given to white children to make them feel inferior and superior than every other person. So when you say supremacy is exactly that. It's superiority, or authority. Because remember this, you could be white and homeless, and you could be black and who has a car. That white homeless person will still call you a no good black nigger. Simple fact is this,
just a nigger.
We're not ready to jail him or anything. The laws is a lot different. They did that to us. Rude boy, from the 80s they come with the drug laws. War on drugs. And what they use is white supremacy in that. Why? A black person who's holding cocaine or free beer or Coca-Cola, let's start and say Pepsi and them thing there, make it a bit more suitable for children now. I don't know who's listening. So let's say Coca-Cola and Pepsi. You as a black person, your jail sentence is longer. If you hold a gun, a firearm, your sentence is longer. You understand? When we talking about white supremacy, we basically say it affects everything about, even the way you think. Even your religious justice. Because some people say Jesus and when they close their eyes they see a white man. That is how powerful white supremacy is. It's a superiority. So
Yes, thanks for giving your perspective on that, Captain.
Thank you. It's just only my perspective, by the way.
Yeah, 100, tell your truth. I'm a YouTuber, and so if I'm totally honest, when I first became aware of you, it was a couple of years back, when you were doing the gang, the Guiding a New Generation, the G-Walks, the G-Circles. I remember all of that. So tell me, what does that mean to you, like, and what happened? Where have you gone?
Just like every other thing what happens to you, good and stuff, you know, it goes, you understand. Well, gang to me, guiding a new generation, because the word gang use terminology now. You got young kids throwing that in drill music, throwing that throughout the music industry. Gang ain't a new word, is a word what been coexisting with every other social being socialised with every other terms, yeah, but guiding a new generation, as you said, like I kind of joined that in maybe October. I'll remember October about 2017.
Okay.
Like I'm not no founding member. I'm not no. I can't say I created it. I made the term or anything. It was something what. You know, I saw what was going on good. I see a group of brothers and sisters getting together by throwing some great knowledge in a park, coming together, looking to do great things within a community. And, you know, that was the kind of energy what gravitated me to it. But because I was already a Black Panther, actually a member of the Black Riders, I went up there for the very first time, stepped in at G Circle with great minds. You know what I mean? Young and old people together. You know what I mean? I see, and I said my piece, told them that I'm a part of the Black Riders Liberation Party, told them that it's about bringing some kind of trans or some kind of truths with certain gangs within our communities. Anyway, four corners of London, by the way, without trying to exempt and favour South over any other community, even I'm from South. Yeah, so gang was a very good. It was a very good thing, basically. They were, like, we done a Libya protest, and we done a G Circle. We locked down the roads for Westminster, for a long time, most of the afternoon, basically into the evening, caused collateral damage, you know, like Extinction Rebellion done stuff like that, and other protest activist groups has done that with out of the black community and everything, you know. So gang was really, you know, at that time, 2017, 2018 and 19, and now the knife and gun crime was on the rise, you know. And we just believe that many of our youths, even ourselves, certain times we need guiding. We need to know that it's more to life than this. Then some of us were speakers, activists. Anyway, some of us were very good musicians, like rappers and DJs, whatever you want to call them. You know, very good and talented. You know what I mean? Started to hit like that, you know. We done the G-Walks, which I wasn't there for the first one what went through Tottenham, but I heard that was very, very good. And you know, they done their thing. But I joined the Hackney one, the East London one. You know, it was alright and stuff. That one was alright and stuff, but we did have some form of, you know, stuff should have been dealt with a bit more better, because we did run into a 9-night. A 9-night.
Oh.
Like, I'm talking from like maybe the Jamaican perspective. You understand? We call it 9 nights. Saying
that's when someone's passed away, right?
Yeah, when somebody's passed away, you call it a memorial, depending on what culture you come from. But we don't. We respect the living. You know what I mean? Living in the new life where we call spiritual and inner minds, because they're no longer here in the physical. So we say like the nine nights till we put them in the earth. Like in Islam, I think it's 3 nights that you put the person into the ground. You understand? Certain cultures have certain customs. So anyway, moving forward, that we run up into that, and certain things never really went too well. A group was mourning, and the way we come like a carnival, you know. And you know, it was not really that good, but overall we got over it. We managed to cover many of the estates, get the people from in the community to speak. That was the main thing. Like, gang wasn't really set it up to be superheroes, you understand, or be some new incarnation of the Black Panthers or anything like that. It was a group of young men and women who wanted to come together to find the solutions to many of the problems, and it was a very good thing. We done Kennington to Brixton, same thing. We done it in the rain most of the time. We had other organised groups, organisations who also helped in, you know, like the Nation of Islam and stuff. They kind of helped, but you know, it was very good, because what it did, it showed that groups of people can go out in their local communities and have a voice and say, look, this is enough is enough. Look, man, we're dropping each other, like we're killing each other. Right. Like, enough is enough, you know? And these are the things and the memories, what I would say that gang or guiding the new generation was bringing out. That it was really giving you, like the people, come and join us. It wasn't no group like that where we have to sign a membership and say, oh, yeah, give us your life story. Come with us. We're on your streets. Come out. Come, let's talk to our youngers. Let's say to our youngers, look, man, we love you, innit? The main thing is that, innit? We love our youngers. We love our community. We love our people. We want to help you. We want you to help us to help you, basically, because it was we went out to say we got all of this and we go do this. We wasn't coming out like Santa Claus or anything like that. We wasn't promising nobody nothing. We just said, look, man, we all want to stand out with you. Come, we walk, we march.
That's good.
And when we did that, a lot of people from the housing estates leaves. Yo,
yeah, I see.
You know, when we talk about the people, I'm saying, yeah, people come out. Yo, yeah, man. Yo, walked with us. Them things, they were all good, man. Tell you the truth.
What drew me to gang originally when I first saw you lot was the fact that I realised I wasn't alone. So it brought awareness. I thought there's people like me around. Let me show interest.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? And how much other people thought like that.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. That's real spit. You get me? It's real spit. Because I've been on this journey for a long time by myself. Yeah, so to see other people, it made me happy. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what it was really about. Other people's been on their journeys, what brought them to that point where we say we all got together.
But Cap, here we are today.
Yeah, see, it brought you to the point. You understand? That's the positive stuff. See, that in everything, in every aspect, there's positive and negative to it. Yeah, we could always talk about the eyes of fools to any damn group. We could even do that to gangs. Your baddest gang in your community you looked up to, they got some flaws in it.
Come on,
you understand? So even your churches,
come on.
Religious nominations and stuff, lot of flaws in that. So yeah, man, let's move on. I don't stay the one thing.
Yeah, but big up gang though. So I was gonna say this, big up you lot for putting that onto the map, because you opened up minds. Do you know what I'm saying? And you inspired people to be and be themselves and love themselves a bit more. Because I saw one speech of one young man say in front of all of you lot, we all have a common enemy. And that enemy is the police. And for that young man to speak up and say that to a group of adults and young kids, it makes everyone one together at one point. Do you know what I'm saying? It's very powerful, man. So big up gang, you lot did your thing. But what happened, man? Like, why ain't it continuing now, man?
That's what I said, where you at?
Innit?
Yo, do you know what? Just like every other thing, as I said before, even when the question was being said, just like every other thing in life, You know, none don't last forever. You know, some of us was drained, some of us were tired. We had personal issues to deal with, like our children and family and that. Yes. You know, and even ourselves. Like some of us had to get back into work and other things. Like I ain't go talk for no one, because I just believe that, you know, it's very easy to say, oh, you know, like without my ego or my thing, you know, as I say to you, that everybody could talk for themselves like that, why it never worked out and why it did work out. Yeah. Some people never really left gang because of any personal issues. It was just the momentum. People got tired. It was a lot of walking we did. It was a lot of talking. It was overwhelming. Imagine you always wanted to help you and reach out to your people, and always wanted to do a service to your people. Bam, you get that chance. Boom, you've done it. You know what happens to your body afterwards? What? It gets tired. Your mind don't have a body. Yeah. Of course. Your mind is without form, my friend. So you sometimes said you touched north, east, south, and west, right? Yeah, man. You know, and me myself, like personally, I done other protest walks, march with other groups, and it is tiring. Yeah, man. Some days you feel like, you know what, I'm not interested in this. It's so hard. People are fools, man. You start. It can get that to you. Don't ever think that. I believe that there is not one revolutionary who ever felt like that. Like at one part of his time, he felt tired. Yeah, you understand. So
we're all human, right? At the end of the day,
exactly. But some of us are decent humans.
I know you're a man that you're an intelligent man as well, Captain, and I know you know about laws. You know, there's 3 different type of laws, right, that we run under. Yeah. Do you mind just informing us?
Well, boy, you know what? When all of these laws were put into place, it wasn't really. Remember, you had law of the seas. Yes.
Yeah. That's the Holy See.
No, the law of the sea. Yes. Yeah. No, like law of the waters.
Yes.
So shipping and everything. Yes. That's one law.
Yes.
Right. Then you have another law where you say law of the land.
Yes.
You are mostly kind of common with that term, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes. Law of the land. Law of the land, yeah. Right? But here's another thing what they're throwing into you. You also have a law of the sky, innit?
Yes.
Yeah? So certain times you feel you could fly, you need all of these license, you need all of this stuff, and you will have to go through all of this law. So basically, you had a law where they say the common law for common people, and that's why when you see your national parks like common,
it
was a law for that.
Okay.
The whole of England at one stage had those laws, common laws, because you have the common people. You have people who live outside your laws. By the way, they say some of them call it sovereignship, some of them are travellers.
Yep.
Or the term gypsy, who lives more of the law of the land.
Well, they were a law unto themselves, right?
Yeah, so the law of the land, the common law, is a bit different than where you say your law, what says your up higher law, where they say, the court.
Yep.
No, like the court. Like you have the high courts, where it comes under this. Civil law deals with civil matters. Civil is you, like the civilians, civil people, civil common laws, meaning, look, I lent you my car and I never returned it, I can sue you. You went to a club and the doorman punched out your teeth. Not only is then the laws changed because it becomes a law of the land where it affects everybody. You know, like the high court laws. You know, like where you have stages. They got your civil laws. You got your civil courts. Then what's your judge, jury, or that. That's she deals with the civil laws.
Okay.
Really is your common laws.
Okay.
What's the best way to?
Go on, sorry.
No, go to. Elaborate.
I thought you were going to say something. That's why I thought your mouth.
No, I'm with you, but I just didn't want to over talk on one thing. It's gone.
Okay, so you've explained the laws, but how do we get that to the youth? Because a lot of the youth don't know about these different laws.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
It's for us to really take that time out and educate them in it, because there's certain laws like with this stop and search has been invaded many times.
Yes.
Really and truly, you're not really meant to give your name or address.
Definitely not.
But we do. You understand? These are the things where I believe that, as you know your law, I think you're responsible for these. I don't expect you to go out there in the world and tell everybody their rights, but these the people you come into contact, if the conversation or push the conversation to teach your fellow friends and stuff their rights.
Yeah.
Because basically, not even a bailiff has a right to enter your premises, but they have a loop in it where if your windows are open,
or if you open the door,
open the door, they could step a foot in, and once they step a foot in, basically they're inside your house. Basically, these are the laws what you must study yourself. Take some time out and know what laws could affect you. You know what I mean? Because some laws might not be necessarily abided by you as a person. Some laws is out the window. You don't drive, so what the fuck you want to know about driving laws for? Sorry. You know what I'm going for.
Yeah, but the stop and search one is a big one. Like
stop and search, Section 60, SAS law, whatever you want to call it. These are the things. But remember, because of supremacy again, they could override that on you. Because sometimes the police deals with people with their own laws.
Yeah.
They could assault you and do those stuff. It's not allowed to say they can't because they're doing it, bro.
Yeah, I know. Trust me. Wow. So what about criminal law?
Criminal law, burglary, robbery, assault, GBH, rape, all of them stuff there is considered as criminal law.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Certain things are theft, robbery, because theft can turn into a robbery.
I feel like that's the elder's job as well, though.
Kidnap.
To teach us the laws.
Yeah, because certain laws will take you straight into cow court. Like this how it go. If you was getting charged for robbery, they won't put you in a civil court or a magistrate's court. They kind of push it up towards the Crown Court. Okay. If you murder somebody, that could just go straight to the Old Bailey.
Okay,
you understand the High Courts. Certain it is. If I done mass murder or something like that, straight High Court.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
If you don't pay your TV license or your parking fines, then they'll take you straight down into the magistrate's court. You understand? Because what it is, that's where you're dealing with the really common things and stuff.
Oh, okay, makes sense. Because the magistrate can give you up to 6 months, no higher, isn't it?
Yeah, like basically
6 months.
Yeah. No. Like some courts, what is it? Is it the magistrate's court can give you a fine?
Yes.
And that Crown Court, they file up to Crown Court. Crown Court starts sentencing.
Yeah.
You understand? And High Courts, what you were saying, could throw away the key. They got really a law for your life, meaning they can kill you. Yeah, don't forget hanging and all of that might be ruled out, but if you was a prolific murderer, they can body you still.
Yeah.
You can body you without all that anyway.
Exactly.
Come on.
Let's keep it chill.
Exactly.
Come on.
But these are the law where they say this is what makes England great. Yeah. Right.
Wow, great for who, eh?
So I was saying, I feel like it might be the older's responsibility to introduce law to the youths.
Do you know what? Let's do that. Let's pass the buck. How about some of the elders who didn't know nothing themselves? How about the older generation was even educated? They didn't have the conscious or the conscience to have that education. Sometimes I believe that certain...
But they got eyes. They got eyes. They got eyes. They see what's happening.
Bro, there's a lot of people's got eyes out there and they don't see shit.
Shit.
How about that?
I know.
A lot of people's got ears. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
A lot of people's got ears and they don't hear shit.
Nah, for real.
Or got a mouth and talk a whole heap of shit. If you go speak like that, you know?
For real, man.
So I would say this, you know, I feel it's everybody's duty to learn, to know where you stand, knowledge, to knowing where you stand, you overstand, or to overstand, because I believe it's that stand there, what makes me and you different, or me and you, or me and person, place and thing different. It's the stand, and if I know it, I would have that knowledge. And sometimes I believe that we should all teach everybody, because sometimes we always say they're eldest, but you overlook yourselves or the youngest. Get me? Yeah, I believe that, bro. Vice versa, yeah.
Okay, so just keeping it moving. Tell me your thoughts on like American work culture. What do you think, like the differences between here and there? You know, like you see some of these like prominent figures like Sarah Sutton-Seti and James Smalls and, you know, the Hebrew Israelites.
Wicked.
Sarnetta. You know, Sarnetta.
Okay.
I met Sarah Seti, by the way. Shout out to Sarah Sutton-Seti.
Yeah, big up Sarah Seti.
I met him a few years ago when he came to London. So yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
Is he deep, yeah? So have you? I see a picture, actually.
I'm sure were we at the same event? We might have been there.
He came over to the park.
Yeah,
so listen to this,
corner,
so listen to this.
Dope.
The difference between over here and there, because their platforms pushes them as well. They got a lot of in-house community support. Like America's black community will support their black community for 100. And I was probably right for them more. You understand? Our public figures, they're out there, but they're not really in the mainstream camera. They're not really in the mainstream media. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're not really out there being pushed. I mean, there's a lot of conscious brothers and sisters in England. Let's not just put it's a London thing or anything. Let's just say in England we have a lot of figures and community head figures and guys who's pushing that knowledge and stuff, but it's not really being pushed like that over here. You know what I mean? We could talk about our censorship and all sorts of stuff. You know what I mean?
Capping, is Britain racist?
Is Britain...
What kind of question is that? Come on.
Is Britain racist? Come on, guys.
Alright, do you think the black and white divide will always exist?
Yeah, do you know what? It would always be divided. Britain is racist, you know. Britain is racist. The black and white.
That's what I wanted. I wanted a straight answer.
Has always been that. Some of us can mix in, relate, have children, you know, be best buddies and everything. But
as a nation,
it's very hard. I don't think it can happen.
Okay, respect, man. Can you give us an insight into what really happened during the Windrush times? How?
Okay, well, quote, I'm not 70, 80 years old, right? But what the elders and what I kind of have learnt through my research and studying and by reasoning with my family who was actually attended on that ship. Basically, the Windrush arrived at Tilbury Dock, East London. And there were areas located in London where it was censored, where it would be good for them to go and live. Let's highlight some of those places. New Cross. A lot of people will say Brixton has a high rate of black community because of what the media pushes out. But you got places like New Cross, Deptford, Lewisham, where a lot of the Windrush went to. Peckham, they went into Camberwell. Camberwell, Caribbean, the Caribbean community, the Windrush was there. It was they will say that places like Camberwell was heavily with Irish and blacks, and that's only southeast. Now we're talking about southwest. You got Brixton, what was highly populated. Then you got Battersea, and you had it was like really minimal, but it wasn't very highly populated. Then you had West London, Ladbroke Grove, Shepherd's Bush, Kilburn, Black and Irish. You know,
we were all over.
We was all over, but it was like in between us. You had Teddy Boys, the skinheads. You have the far rights in that. So it was like we were divided, and basically the Windrush generation used to say it used to have no vacancies, meaning through housing or jobs. So when we came over, it wasn't really likely we could get jobs easy. Some of our mothers or grandmothers, or we say the women, some of them were like trained nurses and everything. They accepted the women more into that type of work. Some of the men went into, they were qualified. Some of the men were really educated. Some of them actually became engineers, like actually developing the railway tracks and the tube lines and everything. Some of them actually became bus drivers, tube drivers, but mainly bus drivers, bus conductors, and that they started to get that job and everything. A lot of warehouse work. They used to have a lot of shift works, morning and nights, where a lot of the elders went into work at, you know. But when they're going home, they was introduced to the Section 60 sus law, where they get stopped and searched. You're a big man, and you're coming home from work, and a young police officer say, "Hey, where you coming from? What's your name? Where you come from? Hey, mate, don't you screw me. Don't you look at me like that." You know what I mean? And intimidate you, tell you to strip, slap you up, then you go home as a man, getting slapped up by police officers. It wasn't really good. You know, a lot of the women really did very well. Like, I mean, I heard that during the Windrush, they used to have bread, right? Like, they used to send out the bread and actually leave it on the doorsteps. It was the women, the sisters who kind of got together and say, "Yeah, well, you can't leave them thing there like that because our cat will piss up our favorite bread and thing." So they started to put it into brown bags and stuff like that. So the Windrush generation was a lot. They say it was very smoky and all of that, like smoggy, very cold. Sometimes that it was very cold. Paraffin, harder meat is up the bun. There's a lot of tins them time there. So certain tin openers wasn't around, so you had to use your knife and cut open corned beef. Use long grade rice.
You have to have that skill to do that. I've tried that one.
Definitely.
But yeah, you know, there were cars during the Windrush, you know what I mean? They just didn't have telephones in their houses. They used to have, it was like a lot of shared apartments them time there. One telephone would be like for 3 floors or those floors and that. Go to.
What's your thoughts on COVID?
COVID is an illusion.
The plandemic or the scamdemic, as people
say. Hey, don't forget,
right?
you all of this, yeah? Let me just give you a little riddle. You live in a planet, yeah? Right? Plan it. Yeah?
Come
then
on.
they come with pandemic.
Powers.
Come on, bro.
You understand? COVID. Alright, COVID. What's my takes on COVID? Is a world population control.
Facts.
Basic.
It's there to control and manipulate the mass.
Yes.
They're just stepping it up now, right?
And remember this, you could either be a simp, a Simpson or a simpleton, or you could be with one with your third eye open and make that phoenix burn. You know what I mean? Because right about now, all of these are paradox. Yeah, what's taking place. I've been to a lot of protests as we're talking about COVID, regarding the COVID. I just believe it's just a people's day out gathering, because no matter what we say, this government has orchestrated this many times, and they're very good. They got BBC, they got the black community, full support, artists, entertainers. They got the whole works with this. Yeah. They have actors out here to convince you to have your COVID. They got reggae artists. You mean, they got rap. Yeah, your vaccination. Remember, some of them's already had their first vaccination, and they're still waiting on their second. And some of them hasn't even took none at all. And you still can't do what we can do. We can't go on holiday, by the way. They told you they got green and red zones for your holidays. Guess what? Half of the Caribbean islands is on the red.
That list keeps changing every day.
Most of your Western African countries is under the red.
But I heard they're not happy about that right now, because they actually cleaned it up. Like, basically, there's nothing going on over there, and they're upset that they're on the red list. But that's what happens when you want to be a...
Yeah, but some countries will do that, you know. They have to have that as well. Hear what they got to do. They got to have the controversy. They got to have people saying, no, my country this, because they got to get you people to believe it's true. They'll make any way business. They'll say, what's Captain Rambo known? He ain't no paramedic, he ain't no doctor, he ain't no qualified practitioner. Who the hell is he? He ain't no consultant. They all try ridiculing me for telling you that this COVID is a damn hoax. Yeah? Blacklist me as well.
100%.
Boy. You got us all deep in thought.
I know, yeah, still.
No, it's each one teach one, man. Please, man. I'm trying to be here without the ego, bro.
What's your thoughts on Sasha Johnson, who recently been shot?
Bro, my thoughts, I tell you the truth, I don't want to say I know her.
Yes.
Because that's a lie. You know what I mean? I've met her a few times. What I see of her as a young girl, young sister, coming up. She's got that fire. She's fighting for what she believes in. You know what I mean? And what she believes in, I have some of those ideologies. And I believe that is very good for females or women to step up, just as the men do.
Salute.
And have their views and fight for women rights and stuff. I believe that women should have a voice, and some women should fight for women's problems and women's rights. I believe that.
100.
You know
100.
So, like how men is fighting for men's rights and men this and men that. You know, I'm not going to say that, but I never knew her. I met her a couple of times, as I said, when I was doing a protest with this COVID and this freedom and wake up movements and all of that, when it was all out there, you know, like 6 months ago, you know. I went up there with File Truth and everything, met her, spoke to her. I had my berry on that day in my uniform. She was in hers. We walked together. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Yeah, but like with the incident, I went to her memorial, not memorial,
vigil.
The 9-night, the vigil to get together. So
yeah, it's a blessing, isn't it?
I went there last week. And me and other Black Panthers, like the NFAC was there. You know what I mean? My good friend or comrade Huey Rose was up there. We showed our respect and honour as the formations of the Black Panthers, you know. And yeah, man, I you know, can't really talk on the actual incident. Like, I just know what the media knows and all of you lot know, basically. You know, nothing hasn't really been said about it, as far as I know.
Well, I know Sasha, as you know. I know Sasha, powerful sister, powerful queen. Let's just keep her in our prayers. And I have to say, there's a GoFundMe for her 2 children and any care that she may need. So anyone listening, please pray and support the Queen.
Yes. Where can we find the link for the GoFundMe?
It's actually on my page. Let me plug it, Empress_Nay.
Yes. Okay.
But there's so many people. You can even go to her page directly.
How much you raised so far?
So far, I think it's almost at 8,000.
Wow.
How much we raised so far?
Well, the goal is 20,000. The goal is 20, but any support, you know, any support because
support her, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Everyone hear that? Yeah. Go follow Empress Nay and check out her bio, and you find the GoFundMe page for Sasha Johnson on there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, pray for the sistering. Yeah. Keep strong.
Please.
But you know what? The Most High works in mysterious ways. You get me? I have a good.
I don't forget that it was a very good thing she's done. You know, like I believe many more sisters could come out and assist and mend them and help out with our people, basically our youths, our generation, and everything else. Even the elders. We can't forget the elders, the ones who set the foundation. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So. You know what I mean? As I say, Sasha Johnson on that note, you know what I mean? Get well soon. You know what I mean? Real freedom fighter. You know what I mean? Hope all the best to you.
Yes.
You spoke about the elders.
Yeah.
Me personally, walking on this journey, I've noticed something. I do feel the elders and the youngers have a disconnection. Definitely.
We need to speak on it.
I do feel that. And I can say that when I go to certain protests. I went to a Peckham protest.
Yeah.
And the elders...
Piers Corbyn was there.
Yes. Yeah, and the elders were talking. I looked around. I saw no youths there, mate. None. Where are the youths? So I feel like, how do we reconnect that again? Because it's a big gap, man. It
is a big gap, and sometimes it's appalling. You know, you could be an elder fighting for the youths, and the youths don't even realise you're fighting for them. You know, and then you could have the youths who's fighting for the elders, and the elders don't realise that they're fighting for them. Like, we have a very disconnection. I believe that some of the elders feel that they can't talk to the youths. You know.
So how are they going to save and help anything with this? If that's how they feel?
Yeah, well, this is the problem. The way how we think and feel. Yeah, most of it needs to change anyway.
100%.
Yeah, and it's like most parents has detached themselves, or children has detached themselves from their parents as well. So when we talk about elders and youngers, some of them are related. Some of them don't get along. Sometimes the uncles choose, or the parents choose, not to tell the child what's really good for them, let them know anything else. So we're in that point where we have to at least do it for ourselves. You know what I mean? That's how it really goes. You know what I mean? Sometimes we can't never. The problem about us, we have been taught to think collectively. We must do this as a group. We must do this together. We must do this. In actual fact, it can happen, but it has to begin with you first. Do you really want to unite with other people?
Yeah.
Do you really want to share with other people?
Facts.
Because some of us are very self-centered, not to be disrespectful. You never had brothers or sisters. You grew up in a household where your mum, dad, grandparents loved you. Wouldn't even, if you fell, they'll kiss it better, plaster you. Then you have children who grew up with all of their siblings and don't relate with none of them.
Yeah.
So you got some children or some youngers who's got elders as brothers and elders as sisters who they're so old. Did they even relate with them? Because sometimes your parents can have you
gap
20 years.
That's too big.
In certain occasions, some have 30-year gap. Now, your little brother is really could be your grandson.
That's your dad, man.
Or your son.
That's your uncle.
You don't want to talk. No, but it happens.
It does.
The youths then feel unattached. So when we talk about that, sometimes we do. I think a lot of the media and everything teaches us those things, and in certain cases, it's not true. Sometimes you can't unite with your own head and your own feelings. You can't even unite with yourself. Your head telling you to go that way, your heart's telling you to do this. Your legs don't want to move. Know that you've done something wrong, and no matter what you do, you can't run out that situation. It's like you're in that mud, you feel in that situation, and sometimes, as I said, to get our youths together, we have to get ourselves together. And I always say it begins and ends with you. You understand?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Cappy. We're running over time, man.
I know, guys. It's been
we got to bring it to an end.
I learned a lot today so far.
You learned a lot.
Yeah. We have. But let's kind of wrap it up on future plans.
Yes.
What does the future hold for Captain Rambo?
Wicked. My future plans: to stay in my lane, keep developing myself and others around me, and just try and live good with other people, especially at these days and time. Just try and live good with people. My mission, so you get to a certain point in life where you don't have those goals and things what you had before, because sometimes you accomplish them. I could say I've been out marching, I've been protesting, I've been doing this for my black people, I've been doing this for the people, and I've been doing that. And at the end of the day, my mission is to live good, and die peacefully. You know what I mean? Because one day I've got to go. So I don't really want to build up false hopes. All I'm trying to do is just live like a good man, the best I can, in my ability.
Amen to that, bro.
Powers to that, bro.
Powers.
Big up Captain Rambo.
Yeah.
My Captain. We got something for you. Empress Nay, you want to hand Captain a little present from us?
Dun, dun, dun.
Powers for breakfast.
Now you're in the gang.
Gang. Guided.
A new generation.
You don't kill me. But let me say something now. Yo, thanks for the shirt and that.
You're welcome.
And it's been a really good show and stuff. And
yes.
Powers for breakfast. I believe that you should continue doing your thing. Keep on reaching out to those people who might not be in the spotlight, but they got a lot of jewels, gems, wisdom and knowledge in the shadows. Grab them all out and big up yourselves. Powers for breakfast.
Thank you for coming down today, man. We appreciate you highly, man. And by the way, that's a 30-degree wash, no higher than that, because you're Powers.
Make sure the
man. That's an old man, bro. Don't
big up yourself. Thank you for coming down today, man.
Thank you for enlightening us on certain things. I always say the same thing, innit? I wish we had more time.
Yeah, but when we say enlighten, I want to darken you. Now is it?
Listen, come on, that's a new one.
The wickedest thing is this, is about sharing knowledge.
Yes.
I believe that is about each one teach one, motivating each other, inspiring each other, and trying your best to correct your mistakes as the older generations or anyone else has. You know what I mean? You're meant to be learning off people. Just try to correct yourself. Think of yourself as a special individual. Trust me, you realise that when you meet your stars, legends and all of that, they're just as real as you. It's depending on that level. But you know what? Powers.
Yes. Jeez. Thank you for blessing us with your presence. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Powers.
And
I appreciate it.
This is Powers for breakfast. You're here with 100 Eyes, Local Lou, Empress Nay, and the Triller Captain Rambo. Big up everyone. Have a blessed Sunday and stay safe.